there's a lot of different things that AI can do better than an individual, yeah, but there's systems that needs to be put in place, and there's different configurations that need to be done to ensure that it doesn't go haywire. Well, you'll be surprised what they ask AI. Sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous, and there needs to be parameters set. Like you ask ChatGPT, how do you set off a bomb? And just, I mean, that's kind of scary. It's pretty detailed about how to do it. So I think there's different ways and parameters that need to be around that.
Welcome back to another episode on Microsoft Dev Radio. I've got somebody very important, very special here, and most importantly, very knowledgeable. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Fortune Enrique, Cybersecurity Program Manager at Microsoft under the Microsoft AI division.
Okay. As you know, AI is a big topic on Microsoft Dev Radio, so we've got the great person, Dr. Fortune, to find out about this. Stay tuned. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got here, and why specifically Microsoft?
Sure. Well, my background, I actually have a healthcare security background, but with a healthcare security background, I was able to do so many different projects throughout my early years in my career. And then I jumped into consulting, doing a lot of different consulting for financial services, telecommunication, healthcare organizations, of course. And it really allowed me to dive into the cybersecurity world, really getting a lot of exposure and knowledge around vulnerability management, incident response, cloud security, risk assessment. So I got the whole nine, a lot of different domains throughout my experience working in the consulting firm, and also just really broadening my knowledge to really dive into technical stuff, learning a little bit about how to code here and there, understanding how to recode and how to be able to be really effective as a cybersecurity professional. So I've been graduated from my university, Georgia State University, for undergrad for about 8 years now, 8 years. Did a lot of internships, of course. Did a lot of different certificates, programs. Decided to get my master's.
Would you graduate with?
I graduated with interdisciplinary studies, which is a focus of computer information systems.
Okay.
And then from that point on, I got my master's around healthcare informatics, because I was really focused around healthcare, but also it was like a dual master's degree, which I got healthcare informatics, cybersecurity, and then I ended up getting my doctoral degree in cybersecurity as well.
Okay. And so then how did you end up here at Microsoft?
Sure. I ended up here at Microsoft 3 years ago through a networking event, actually. I was going through a networking event that was actually being sponsored in LinkedIn. So use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a part of Microsoft. So I connected with a recruiter. I said, hey, I see a really dope opportunity that I would like to be a part of. It was a security program manager role under the WebXT environment, which is also known as Bing under search, news, Microsoft Maps, as so forth. So it was an opportunity there to be a security program manager. I went to a networking event, and then I was hired by my past manager, and he really loved what I brought to the table.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your role specifically, some of the day-to-day stuff, which you do, high-level stuff.
Yeah, so I recently got reorged to the Microsoft AI. AI is a big topic right now with a lot of different things that we have going on with ChatGPT and like Bing and Copilot and all that great stuff. So I love my role. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a security program manager. I work a lot with developers, engineer, and my role consists of a lot. I like to look at my role almost like a jack of all trades. Like you have your soft skills, you have your technical skills, you have your understanding of really doing different things around coding or incident response. So there's a lot of different domains. So the life of a cybersecurity manager within the WebXT and Bing environment, Microsoft AI division, is a lot of different things. So you have vulnerability management. So I run a vulnerability management program. It's right under something called One Microsoft Patching. Really is just addressing vulnerabilities within our environment, whether there's in the application or OS devices, wherever the case may be, really getting those addressed. Also incident response. 7 weeks out the year, I'm on call 24/7, where I basically am the go-to person, primary point of contact when it comes down to any severity or risk that's entering our environment or cybersecurity attacks, which needs to be remediated immediately. Additionally, I have some big projects under my belt, which is like cloud security, a big cloud migration. So migrating from one tenant to another tenant. The best way to explain it is really moving your subscriptions and your resources that are production-based or production workloads from one tenant that's not as safe to a more isolated tenant. And that comes a lot with a lot of different things, like different process of recreating and redeploying your resources from scratch in a different tenant, or something we call the in-place migration, which is using an RBAC script to really run that, to be able to reduce downtime or do it in a minimum amount of time, so it won't be too much of a shut off or too much of a downtime with your different resources and different sessions that are going on. So there's a lot of different things that I do, and I do a lot of different assessments within our environment as well. And sometimes I build dashboards as well.
Okay, that sounds like a lot. I want to know though, are you doing this by yourself or do you have some team that's supporting you?
Oh, of course, yeah. I have a lot of team members. I have a principal architect on my team that's been here for 30 years. He's really a good mentor. Some other TPMs that are on my team as well. We have a whole security division. We're broken out in so many different parts inside security. We have operations security, we have app security, and then we have engineering security. I'm in the operations security. And then also we have some vendors that help us along the way as well. We have about 3 vendors that help us in our environment.
Okay. And you talked about the vastness of the team, but can you speak to the diversity of the team? Because I know a lot of people, might look at developers as very monolithic, but from my understanding, especially through all these questions, they come from different backgrounds, different locations. They're different types of people, whether it's degree or location. So can you speak to the diversity of your teams?
That's a really good question. Right now, we consider ourselves our engineering division. When I think about diversity on our team, I know I am the only black male within the security team within Microsoft AI. That's for sure. So I know I'm the only black male there. There's different diversity. We have some folks that are from India. We have some folks who are from China. So there's some minorities here and there, people of color as well. One young lady that's on my team as well, she's color. So there's some diversity there, but it still could use some more work or growing in that area.
Okay. Now, with that being said, I heard you talk about how you were more of a jack of all trades as opposed to, honing in on one skill. I think a lot of people have this misconception coming into tech that they need to find that one thing and just really, push until they know all of JavaScript or push until they know all of Azure
For sure.
to the T. Do you think that can be beneficial or harmful, or what are your thoughts and opinions on that?
That's a really good question. I actually struggle with that. I think my personal opinion on that, I think you should hone in on one skill and specialize in that. Being jack of all trades, I guess basically that's almost a thing. Like, I just like to have my hands in everything. I'm just curious, nosy. I just want to touch everything and know a little bit about every different sector or domain, whether if it's like I mentioned, incident response, vulnerability management, cloud security, but really honing on to one like programming language. If we're talking about from a dev perspective, like if you're really, really good at Python and you really know how code in Python, go all the way in that, master that. Or JavaScript, as you mentioned, wherever the case may be. So in my personal opinion, I think it's pretty good to specialize in one thing. But I know if you want to be a jack of all trades and you're just curious and you just want to be diverse in your field, it doesn't hurt to be a jack of all trades as well.
And I think that's really easy to do, specifically at a company like Microsoft, where they have
too many moving pieces.
Too
many moving pieces. I mean, we got so many moving pieces. And like I said, I just got reorged into Microsoft AI. So we have something called the Secure Future Initiative that's coming out, which is a lot of different security waves that we're like building out. So you may be focusing on safe secrets, or you may be focusing on patching, which is vulnerability management. You may be focusing on identity, access management. There's so many different moving pieces within Microsoft AI, especially now within the security domain, that it's just so many moving pieces. And it's kind of hard not to be a jack of all trades because your job demands you to be that, and at least be somewhat of a respectable subject matter expert around these different work streams.
It sounds fulfilling. I like technology, so it doesn't sound like a bad thing to me. Now, specifically, you talked about AI, Copilot is a thing that we've been talking about today. Azure's been in the works and all that stuff. Where do you see all of these things going in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question. Where do I see all these things going in the next 5 to 10 years around AI? I just see it growing more rapidly, being more used across the industry. I think some people, who are, I would say a little bit old school, that are still in the industry, they might shy a little bit away from it because there's this naive thing in our industry that may replace the jobs of people. I personally don't think so. I think there's still some understanding of really trying to understand how the systems operate, how to maintain the systems, the security perimeters, or the perimeters in general that AI technology would need to use. And with that being said, I really see it growing, being more of a force when it comes down to really just trying to make our job more easier, either get more customers involved with our technology, make daily life easier. I was mentioning it to my friend the other day. Now I don't even take notes during my meetings. We use Copilot. I just click one little button, and it takes better notes even than me, and it's really good reference. So that's just one of many examples. Or how to do a business proposal in Microsoft Word, like just asking it to do. I think the features behind some of these AI products, and Copilot is just one of them, is amazing. And I think it's just making our life easier.
I think you you woke up something that needed to be woken up.
Yeah.
The concept that AI is taking the jobs, or taking the people portion out of the workplace and replacing it. But I think a lot of people don't understand that there has to be somebody behind it.
Has to be
Somebody behind it.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of different things that AI can do better than an individual, but there's systems that needs to be put in place, and there's different configurations that need to be done to ensure that it doesn't go haywire. And a lot of AI these days, we're starting to see a lot of hallucination. Like I was looking at a YouTube video the other day, and people, you'll be surprised what they ask AI. Sometimes it can be a little bit dangerous, and there needs to be parameters set. Like it said how to set off. Like you ask AI how to set off a bomb. Like you ask ChatGPT, how do you set off a bomb? And just, I mean, that's kind of scary. It's pretty detailed about how to do it. So I think there's different ways and parameters that need to be around that.
Wait, speak on hallucinations. I'm lost.
So hallucinations, sometimes, especially in the security field, sometimes we may get incident. Like if I'm on call or incident response, we may get incident like, hey, we want to see if this is malicious. And it's not really malicious. I think some people are just trying to repro it, or trying to figure out how to trick the system or trick the product, the AI technology, to give it some type of malicious information. Like how do you crack an IP address, or how do you find code, a malicious code in a script or something of that nature. So I think you just continue asking these questions over and over again, and then before you know it, it's hallucinating, and then you try basically jailbreak it, crack it.
Okay, I've never heard of that concept.
Yeah, it's pretty often. There's a lot of hallucinations.
Okay. I want to go back a little bit to something that you touched on. You talked about the diversity of your team and the people that are on there, and how you are the only Black person on your specific team. The reason why I bring that up is because you have on this interesting shirt, this BAM BAM.
I rep Blacks in Microsoft, so I'm a part of the leadership team here in Atlanta as the external connect lead.
Okay. What is Blacks at Microsoft?
Blacks in Microsoft is basically like an ecosystem with people of color, or people who want to know more about people of color, and we just basically try to provide different programs, events, trainings, blue rooms, opportunities just to really elevate our community forward.
Okay. And you have to be a part of Microsoft to join this. But let me ask you this. Do you guys do any outreach outside of Microsoft?
Absolutely, yeah. We partner a lot with external organizations like National Black MBA, Community Service Drives, Emerging 100 Black Man of Atlanta. So many different groups, UPS, so many different groups. So there's a lot of different partnerships that we come in. We even partner with communities. I think there's a really big gap around, when we talk about development, when we talk about engineers, there's a lot of high school students, middle school students who don't know what engineering is, who don't know about technology. So we have the opportunity of bringing them here to our campus, give them tours around our campus, exposing them, bringing that awareness, so we can basically build those future technology leaders.
All right, so we mentioned all the young organizations and the high schools that, Blacks at Microsoft touch bases with and, kind of help out with to have them exposed to different technologies. Let's say I'm 18-year-old, 19-year-old Omar, coming right out of high school, don't know what path to take, don't know where to go. What are some good pathways? What are some good resources for somebody at that age range? And I'm going to ask you about somebody else at a different point in their life.
I love that question because especially since I am a part-time professor, I teach a lot of 18, 19-year-olds who are trying to break into the field. So I know it's going to sound cliche. The first thing I'm going to say is stay informed, like keep up with trends, stay curious, adapt, really look at different things, do a lot of research. That's more so on the soft side of like researching, like really trying to understand what field that maybe interests you, because tech, cybersecurity is just so vast. Try to figure out what you want to hone in on. The second thing I want to say is learn the basics, like how encryption works, protocols, certificates. Really learn the basic of those different things, those key terminologies. And then I'll be remiss if I didn't say that after you get your bachelor's degree, of course, although you can get associate degree, or sometime for some of these roles you don't need a degree at all. I've seen that done before, but I really recommend a bachelor's degree at the bare minimum. On top of that, I recommend certification programs. So there's a few certifications that I've used, like Azure 900, Azure 500, which is the security engineer certifications. I've received both of those certifications in the past, and I think that really is what turns the head of recruiters, especially here at Microsoft. There's also Security Plus. I think Security Plus is from CompTIA, is one of the most nationwide certificates around the cybersecurity domain. I think that's very important as well. So really understanding how that works, understanding how you can really understand those different domains from identity to risk management and so forth. And then last but not least, I would say is network. Network, really attend different conferences. If you're in the university right now, there's a lot of different student memberships. There's a lot of different conferences around the city. I mean, we named a couple earlier, but from a cybersecurity standpoint, those professional organizations such as ISACA, IC Squared, build out your LinkedIn, connect with those recruiters, connect with those people that you are seeing that are entry level. And I would say all that. And I think a good entry level job to start off, now that I look back at it, for 18, 19-year-old, internships, of course, you want to intern because you get hands-on experience to really understand what works, what doesn't work. You get to understand what you like and what you don't like. But if you're 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old about to graduate, whatever the case may be, I really do recommend becoming a security consultant, entry-level security consultant, because you get put on so many different projects, and then you get to find your niche.
Okay. And then you said, learn, stay informed, in the know. If I'm somebody who is, out of school, I've got some job underneath my belt that's in the tech space, I want to make maybe a career transition or just learn different things. What are some resources where I can tap in to gain more insight?
Well, first and foremost, Microsoft DevRadio is obviously a good one. Definitely got to tap in there. There's a lot of great content there. I was just looking at it the other night, and I've been looking at it in the past. A lot of great information there for you to stay informed about what's going on around the Microsoft atmosphere and the DevRadio atmosphere as well. Additionally, I think I would say different certifications. I know I mentioned Security Plus earlier. There's a lot of different things. You'll be surprised how far these certificate programs can go at these different universities. There's a lot of different boot camps, like at Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Kennesaw State. Some of these local ones that I'm familiar with here because I'm based here in Atlanta, Georgia, but it's nationwide. There's a lot of different certificates that could be a really good boot camp that could really show you how to really understand the day of a life of a cybersecurity professional.
Okay. Fortune. Dr. Fortune.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
No problem, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah.